Hello students, welcome to the lecture on Organization and Information Systems. And after this lecture, we will able to learn the following objectives. Explain the common features of organization. Discuss on changing environment and its impact on business. Define the ITIS and its influence. Describe the organization, structure, managers and activities. Define data, information and its attribute. Explain the level of people and their information needs. Understand the types of information, decisions and information system. Explain the categories of information on the basis of nature and characteristics. Let us start with the concept of organization and information system. Organizations collect and distribute informations. In the process, they also distort it. Some distortions are intentional. Sometimes employees are asked to summarize data and report to their supervisors. By definition, summarizing data means leaving some parts of it out. This is one type of distortion that is intentional. Other times, organizations distort data so much as to changes its meaning and value. This chapter describes the importance of information within organization and how information is acquired and changed within organizations. Information systems use data as their main ingredient and organizations rely on people. The similarities are remarkable. Method of turning raw products, data, people into useful identities, information producers. Let us now discuss the common features of organizations. The main characteristics or feature of organization are outlining the objectives. Born with the enterprises are its long-time objectives of profitable manufacturing and selling its products. Other objectives must be established by administration from time to time to aid and support this main objective. Identifying and enumerating the activities. After the objectives is selected, the management has to identify total tasks involved and its breakup closely related component activities that are to be performed by an individual or division or a department. Assigning the duties. When activities have been grouped according to the similarities and common purposes, they should be organized by particular department. Within the department, the functional duties should be allotted to particular individuals. Defining the granting the authority. The authority and responsibility should be well defined and should correspond to each other. A close relationship between authority and responsibility should be established. These characteristics describe organizations that are called bureaucracies. Most of us think of them as slow, cumbersome and unprogressive. That is not necessarily so. Many organizations have bureaucratic characteristics and operate very well. Bureaucracy is prevalent, widespread because they are the most efficient form of organization. Now moving on to the next topic, we will study the changing environment and its impact on business. Changing is the only constant in the relationship between information system and organization. As technology evolves, the changes its introduction into organization requires changing in the firm's infrastructure and services it can provide to its employees, customers, and suppliers. Years ago, information systems consisted of a huge mainframe computer with a few terminals connected to it. We had to schedule a specific time to use the computer if company had one at all. All data were kept on one machine, and in some respects the data were available to whoever could access them. When personal computers were introduced in early 1980s, it became the norm for most people to have individual computing islands on their desks. The computers were not connected to each other, and if wanted to exchange data or information, we had to somehow get the data from one desk to the other person's desk. It was not easy. Now it seems we have come full circle in some ways. We have combined the storage and the data processing on a central machine with personal computing available on desktops. The data are available to anyone who can use them or has authorized access through a network with links literally and over the world. Economic impacts. It is sometimes cheaper to hire a computer than a person. We may not like the idea that machines can replace human beings, but when we think about it, they have been doing this for thousands of years. To better illustrate this concept, let's take a look at how a company can find it cheaper to use an information system to develop and disseminate a human resource policy regarding dress codes for employees. The HR assistant may write the first draft of the policy and give it to the HR director on paper. Organizational and behavioral impacts. Technology does not automatically transform organizations. There is no magic wand or stick companies can wave them will solve all their problems just because they install the latest information system. Virtual organization. Organization using networks to link people, assets and ideas to create and distribute products and services without being limited to traditional organizational boundaries or physical locations.
The trade of goods and services has always had an impact on society. Likewise, society has always had an impact on the success of business. So, with such a close relationship, surely it makes sense for a business to take those impacts into account. In the pursuit of profit, businesses have become masters of measuring and maximizing financial capital. In recent years, progress has been made to measure and manage environmental performance. However, measuring socio-economic impacts still remains a challenge for most. Many responsible businesses are attempting to crack the code. Why? Well, for a start, it makes good business sense. Whether you're a telecommunications company who wants to show governments the positive impact of your products, a manufacturer looking to build goodwill and reduce risk in the communities you operate in, or a retailer looking to meet the changing needs of your customers, people underpin your business. They are your employees, customers, suppliers, distributors, retailers and neighbours, so their growth and well-being matter to your bottom line. By training workers, building infrastructure, transferring technology, paying taxes and expanding access to products and services, you can shape the future of your business and society for the better. But in order to manage socio-economic impacts, businesses first need to measure them. There is a range of tools already out there to do this, but selecting the right tool for the job is often daunting, especially when every business is unique. So, to help you get the wheels in motion, the World Business Council for Sustainable Development has produced a guide that helps decode the complex language and processes that can cloud impact assessments. The guide profiles 10 business-orientated tools that have been tried and tested by companies. This helps you to select the right tool or combination of tools for the job with confidence and ease. In fact, it's more than just a guide. It's a living document which will be updated regularly as the landscape evolves. Using this resource can help your business strengthen its value chains, fuel product and service innovation, build trust and stimulate dialogue with governments, civil society and communities. Business cannot succeed in societies that fail. So valuing your company's contribution to social capital creation makes good business sense and is vital in moving towards a sustainable future for business in society.
Rise of the information economy. The major industrial countries are being transferred from industrial economies to knowledge and information based service economics, whereas manufacturing has been moving to lower wages countries. In a knowledge and information based economy, knowledge and information are key ingredient in creating wealth. Let's know the meaning of the ITIS and ITS influence. A combination of information technology, innovations and a changing domestic and global business environment makes the role of IT in business even more important for managers than just a few years ago. The internet revolution is not something that happened and then burst, but instead has turned out to be an outgoing, powerful source of new technologies with significant business implications for much of this century. There are 5 factors to consider when assessing the growing impact of IT in business firms both today and over the next 10 years. Internet growth and technology convergence. Transformation of the business enterprise, growth of a globally connected economy, growth of knowledge and information based economies, emergence of the digital firm. The internet and technology convergence. The internet is bringing about a convergence of technologies, entire industry and firms in the process. Traditional boundaries and business relationships are breaking down, even as new ones springing up. Electronic business or e-business designates the use of internet and digital technology to exclude all of activities in the enterprises. The internet is collection of autonomous and interconnected networks that implemented open protocols and standards. No person, government or entity owns or controls the internet. Instead, a volunteer organization called ISOC, Internet Society, controls the future of internet. It appoints a technical advisory group called the IAB, Internet Architecture Board, to evaluate and set standards. the organization structure, managers and activities. Organizational structure, functional structure. The organization is structured according to functional area instead of product lines. The functional structure groups specialize in similar skills in separate units. This structure is best used when creating specific uniform products. A functional structure is well suited to organizations which have a single or dominant core product because each subunit becomes extremely adept at performing its particular portion of the process. They are economically efficient but lack flexibility. Divisional structure. Divisional structure is formed when an organization is split up into number of self-contained business units, each of which operate as profit center. Such a division may occur on the basis of product and market or a combination of two or each unit tending to operate along functions or product lines but which certain key functions, example finance, personnel, corporate planning, provide centrally, usually at company headquarters. Divisional structure by geographic area. It is appropriate for organization whose strategies needs to tailored to fit the particular needs and characteristics of customers in different geographic areas. This type of structure can be most appropriate for organizations that have similar branch facilities located in widely dispersed areas. A divisional structure by geographic areas allows local participation in decision making and improved coordination within region. Divisional structure by product. It is most effective for implementing strategies when specific products or services need special emphasis. Also, this type of structure is widely used when an organization offers only a few products or services, or when an organization's products or services differ substantially. Data, information and attributes are. Data and information. Data is raw, unprocessed facts and figures that have no context or purposeful meaning, and information is processed data that has meaning and is presented in context. The binary patterns on backing storage devices such as disk, CD or DVD or memory sticks are all classed as data. Knowledge. Humans have an endless thirst of knowledge, but how do we obtain knowledge? We can read books and magazines, study courses materials, and of course we can gain knowledge from watching TV and listening to the radio. The knowledge about the weekend sport matches can mean as much to one person as latest advances in rocket science does to another. We tend to gain knowledge from information and we use that information to make decisions. Metadata. Metadata can be thought of as data that describes data. It may have been introduced to us in the database unit where it is defined as a data dictionary. Attributes of information. While investigating the validity of information as a resource, the natural approach would be to compare attributes of information with those of other resources in order to find some commonality. A comparison of this natural necessitates a closer look at the attributes of the different resources. To this end, Burke and Houghton gives 9 basic similarities between information and other traditional resources to fit into a resource management framework, namely, information is acquired at a definite, measurable cost. Information has a definite value which may be quantified and treated as an accountable asset. Information consumption can be quantified. Cost accounting techniques can be applied to help control the cost of information. Information has clear life cycle, definition of requirements, collection, transmission, processing, storage, dissemination, use and disposal. Suitability of attributes. Information differs phenomenally from other resources needed for development, especially because it is intangible in nature. Information organization and storage. Organizing and storing information may be facilitated with the application of information technology. Traditional data processing technologies were first used to raise work efficiency, whether on the office floor or the shop floor. The operational use of computers generated an abundance of detailed information about transactions, consumers, service calls, resources utilizations, and so on. While such systems are tuned to provide high throughput performance, they are inefficient at and sometimes incapable of retrieving the information that decision makers need to have for planning and problem solving. Information distribution. The purpose of distributing information is to encourage the sharing of information. Information use. Information use is a dynamic, interactive social process of inquiry that may result in making of meaning or the making of decisions. Information is needed for decision making at all levels of management. Managers at different organizational level make different types of decisions, control different types of process, and have different information needs. 3 classical levels of management include strategic, tactical, middle, operational. Strategic managers. They operate in highly unstructured environment and use EIS and DSS. Titles have different values in different organizations. Levels of information within an organization. Planning, control and decision making is carried out at various levels within structure of the organization. Strategic information. Strategic information is used at a very top level of management within the organization. Tactical information. The next level down is the tactical level, and tactical planning and decision making takes place within the guidelines set by the strategic plan. Operational information. The lowest level of operational and operational planning takes place based on tactical planning. Types of information and decisions. There are different types of information required within the organization, and also decision can be taken according to information. Types of information. An information system is a collection of hardware, software, data, people and procedures that are designed to generate information that supports the day-to-day, short-range and long-range activities of users in an organization. Information systems generally are classified into 5 categories: office information systems, transaction processing systems, management information systems, decision support systems, expert systems. Types of decisions: Simon, on the basis of level of programmability of a decision, proposed 2 types of decisions: programmed, also known as structured decisions; non-programmed, also known as unstructured decisions. Programmed structured decisions. Programmed or structured are those decisions which are well defined and some specified procedures or some decisions rules might be applied to reach our decisions. Information system. Information system is integrated set of components for collecting, storing and processing data and for delivering information, knowledge and digital products. Component of information systems. The main component of information systems are computer hardware and software, telecommunications, databases and data warehouses, human resources and procedures. Computer hardware. Today, even the smallest firm as well as many households throughout the world own or release computers. Computer software. Computer software falls into 2 broad classes: system software and application software.
Our world is full of lots of information. From your music playlist to your mobile phone contents, from your saved computer games to the details on your Facebook profile, from the information stored by your school to the data stored by your doctor. There's a lot of information, and it all needs to be stored, categorized, searched, and sorted. The amount of data that we store is growing at a tremendous rate. In fact, every day we create 2.5 quintillion bytes of data. So much that 90% of the digital data in the world today was created in just the last 2 years. That's the equivalent of a 60-foot high wall of iPads stretching from Edinburgh to Oman in the Middle East. How do we manage this massive increase in the data we store? We depend on information systems to help us create, control, store, find, and access this information. So what is an information system? An information system is a set of computer-based tools for collecting, storing, and processing data in our world. Businesses and other organizations rely on information systems to carry out and manage their operations, interact with their customers and suppliers, and compete in the marketplace. For instance, corporations use information systems to reach their potential customers with targeted messages over the web, to process financial accounts, and to manage their workforce. Governments use information systems to provide services cost effectively to citizens, to manage the economy, and to gather taxes. Digital goods, such as electronic books and software, and online services, such as auctions and social networking, are all provided by and operated by some kind of information system. A typical information system will have somewhere to store the data. Often this is a database. There will be a program which helps you use the data, and the program will have a user interface where you, the user, issue commands and receive the results. Information systems play a role in every aspect of your life.
Types of information system. A business has several information systems: formal information systems, informal information systems. Formal information system, it is based on organizational chart represented by organization. Informal information system, it is an employee based system designed to meet personal and vocational needs and to help in solution of work related problems. It also funnels information upward through indirect channels. Categorization of information on the basis of nature and characteristics. Information can be categorized under many headings that help us to determine its overall usefulness. Characteristics of information. Further details of these characteristics related to organizational information for decision making follows. Availability, accessibility. Information should be easy to obtain or access. Reliability or objectivity. Reliability deals with the truth of information or the objectivity with which it is presented. Nature of information. Formal information, this involves presenting information in a structured and consistent manner. Informal information, this described less well structured information that is transmitted within an organization or between individuals who usually know each other. Now in the end, let us summarize what we have learned in this lecture. In knowledge and information based economics, the market value of many firms is based largely on intangible assets such as proprietary knowledge, information, unique business methods, brands, and other intellectual capital. Information has a clear life cycle, definition of requirements, collection, transmission, processing, storage, dissemination, use, and disposal. The learning organization needs to be able to find the specific information that best answer a query and to collate information that describes the current state and recent history of the organization. An organization is a collection of rights, privileges, obligations and responsibilities that is delicately and carefully balanced over a period of time through conflict and conflict resolution. Data is raw unprocessed facts and figures that have no context or purposeful meaning, and information is processed data that has meaning and is presented in a context.